Good evening. First, I'd like to start off by recognizing some former and present and past elected officials that we have with us tonight. First, our Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals judge and former District 1 councilman, the Honorable Mark Johnson. We have our District 4 councilman from Jefferson Parish, seated all the way in the back, Mr. Ben Zorn. We have our former District 1 councilwoman, Miss Wilma Irwin. There she is. And I think we have our councilmen-elect that are here today, Mr. Mike Segura, District 2. Mr. Lenny Klein, District 4. And also seated in the back, Mr. Dominic Impostata, District 5. Dominic, you bring your cheering section everywhere you go. All right, well, we have a number of proclamations tonight. I'm going to start off in ranking order of years of service here. Whereas the Kenner Police Department strives to implement state-of-the-art technology with advanced training in the most effective methods of crime fighting, coupled with a mission to provide the most effective professional law enforcement and public safety services, continually contributing to citizens that quality of life as a safe place to live, work, and play. Whereas to meet the challenge of fulfilling this mission, the Kenner Police Department centers on hiring qualified, dedicated men and women under the leadership of a highly skilled professional in charge. 8 years ago, a well-trained enforcer won the election to serve as the City of Kenner's Chief of Police. That person is none other than Steve Caraway. Steve, I won't do what I did to you at the graduation tonight. I promise you. I won't talk about how I wasn't really born before you got into service. Whereas, following a 3-year tour of duty as a military police officer in the United States Marine Corps, Caraway began his police department career in 1977 as an officer in the Patrol Division. From 1984 to 1990, he reported to the Criminal Investigations Division and established the Office of Training and Development. By 1991, Caraway was promoted to sergeant. By 1996, he went on to commander of the Criminal Narcotics Investigations Division. By 1998, he made lieutenant in command of the Investigative and Support Services Bureau, then continued climbing the ladder to captain while continuing his education and graduating from the FBI National Academy and the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Institute. Whereas, performing with distinction, Chief Caraway has served as a fine example to his fellow officers through his professional work habits and is highly respected for his constant devotion to duty and embracing challenges without reservation. Whereas the City of Kenner hereby commends Chief Steve Caraway for his allegiance to uphold the public's trust by maintaining the highest ethical standards with a commitment to serve Kenner citizens, and is immensely grateful for almost 4 decades of outstanding service. Now, therefore, I, Michael S. Yenni, by the authority vested in me as Mayor of Kenner with the Kenner City Council, do hereby recognize 37 total years of service, of which 8 of those years were Chief of Police for the Kenner Police Department, to Steve D. Caraway.
Thank you, Mayor. He asked me to say a few words. I wasn't prepared. I was telling Michele Branigan I just got off of a fishing boat about 2 hours ago, so in case there's a little fishy smell, it's me, trust me. First, I want to also recognize, I don't know if the mayor saw him or if he mentioned him, the new Chief of Police-elect, Mike Glazer, is with us tonight also. And you know, it's been a tremendous 4 years, in 8 years. My entire career has been great, but these last 8 years working under Ed Munez, particularly the last 4 years, has been such a pleasure, and it's making for such an easy transition, I know, for Mike and the rest of the police department, because obviously public safety is something that is near and dear to me as it is to Mike, and I know that under Mike Yenni's leadership, it's going to continue that way. So with that said, you know, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate this city for what they've done in the past for me and what they're doing right now, as you can see around the city. Mayor, thank you very much.
Ms. Black, would you like to come stand over here? That way if I say something wrong, I'll allow you to kick me. Okay. Whereas never in her life did Sandra Jeannie Mumphrey Black imagine that she would have a career in politics when all she wanted to do growing up was to become a big band singer. Singing through the rock and roll era, Jeannie married Gerald J. Jerry Black in 1963. Gerard, I'm sorry. Okay, look, that was our screw up. And through this union, so we got to fix that. Through this union, had 3 good-looking sons, Stephen, Christopher, and Josh, who in turn have given her 5 wonderful grandchildren who affectionately call her Mimi. Whereas Jeannie's life took a different turn in 1982, she started work as an assistant council clerk, then 12 years later ran for the District 3 and won and was reelected unopposed in 98 and in 2002. Having lived all her life, Jeannie proceeded to run and win at large in 2006 and ran unopposed in 2010. With the final term victory as at-large, she has represented Division B, serving with the administration under 5 different mayors. Whereas her political career centering on citizens' quality of life, Jeannie has been a part of history by initiating ordinances regulating the proliferation of cell towers, authorized billboard ordinances limiting the number of intrusive structures, numerous code enforcement legislations, and co-authored zoning restrictions. In addition to presiding as president and vice president of the council, Jeannie was involved with dedication of the gaming revenues to capital improvements, debt reduction, and infrastructure that has benefited our city, including this year's capital budget, right, Jeannie?
Correct.
Whereas,
And next year's.
and next year's. Whereas active boards such as airport expansion, airport noise and traffic, finance, and insurance advisory, she has also contributed to gaming, recycling, solid waste, signs, and billboard committees. In continuing service to Kenner in her personal life, Jeannie has been involved in her subdivision of 35 years as a resident of Driftwood Park with the Booster Club, as a news editor for the Driftwood Bark, serving not only as a board member, but as president and vice president of the Driftwood Civic Association, among countless other civic duties. Whereas the city of Kenner hereby commends Jeannie for her commitment to Kenner as a peacemaker and a consensus builder on the Kenner City Council. We hereby congratulate Jeannie on a well-deserved retirement after serving the public for over 2 decades in elective office. Now, therefore, I, Michael S. Yenni, by the authority vested in me as mayor of Kenner with the Kenner City Council, do hereby recognize 20 years of elective service and 32 years of service to the city of Kenner to Councilwoman at Large, Division B, Sandra Jeannie Black. I'll let you talk now. Oh, we'll take it.
Thank you, guys. Wow, what a roller coaster ride this has been. As he said, I've served with 5 different mayors, and that's one of my proudest achievements because I always made sure that I paid respect to the office that he was elected to. We may have had our differences, but we always got them resolved. I want to say that I could not have done this without my campaign manager from day one, my supporter, Jerry Black, my son, Steve, or Constable Stephen Black, and my other 2 sons, Chris and Josh. All my grandchildren and my daughter-in-laws, they all contributed to this election and all my elections. And I will tell you, in many years, I have heard people retiring, and I've seen the tears, and I've seen the apologies to their families about how this took away the time that they could have spent with their families. That never happened with me. My family always came first. This job that I love so much, I put all my heart and soul into. The city that I was raised in, because I was born in New Orleans, but I came back and lived in Kenner all my life, as well as my father and his family from 1884. The Mumphrey family has been active in the city of Kenner. So I want to thank all of you. To be able to do something you love for so long is a wonderful thing. And I want to thank everybody that supported me, believed in me, and no matter what came out in the paper, knew that it wasn't true, and that I would never do anything like that to harm my name, that my name is what's vital to me. So I want to thank everyone for all of their support, all of their kind words, and I'm going to miss it in a way because I love the involvement, and I loved being able to ride through the city and say, hey, I did that. Or you see those sidewalks down Power Boulevard? I wrote to Bob Livingston and got those sidewalks put down in the middle of it and made it more like a park atmosphere. I was able to dedicate the gaming revenues. I've helped with cell towers, band cell towers, and so I just want to thank all of you. You know, Michele knows that I'm a woman of very few words, but since I know this is my last meeting, I don't want to leave anything out. And I'm so proud of myself that I got through this without shedding a tear. And to the new council, you have my support. Anytime you need me, anything you need, please call on me. I'll be there for you. Thank you so much.
And Jerry, to quote my predecessor, he always said, "When I see you, I think of what he tells you. There's a place for you and him in heaven." Now, I think it should be you and Peggy, but he says you and him. All right, so we went from 37 to 32. Now we're going to 18 years of service. Ma'am? Now don't read it as I'm doing that. That's very nosy, right? You know? On the first and third Thursday of each month, you will find history in the making in the Kenner Council chambers, where the Kenner Council serves as the city's legislative body with the power to enact ordinances and resolution, governed by a home rule charter and represented by 2 at-large council members and 5 district council members. Whereas further history was made 18 years ago when Michele Branigan became councilwoman for District 4, serving the city from November of 1996 to June of 2006. As the mother of 3, balancing work and home, Michele also began her real estate career in 2006 and brought her get-it-done attitude to home buyers and sellers, thereby earning the title Rookie of the Year for the New Orleans metro area in her very first year. Since then, she has been named top agent in the Latter & Bloom office and has been recognized as a multi-million-dollar producer by City Business in 2009 and 2010 as a top real estate producer. Whereas following 10 years of public service as the District 4 councilwoman, Michele Branigan pursued continuing such service to Kenner by running for councilman at large, Division A, and was elected and started her term on the 1st of July in the year 2006. In her history on the council, Michele has assisted on airport, taxicab, and census redistricting committees. She is deeply involved at the St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, volunteering as president, co-chairing capital campaigns, and was a Regina, I don't know if I pronounce it right. Regina Montrum nominee, thank you. Just make sure I got that. At Musburalino Playground, she was the Booster Club president and girls track coach, all the while being a member of the Jefferson 25 Republican Women's Club of Kenner, Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, and Lakefront Garden Club, among countless other civic duties. Whereas the City of Kenner hereby commends Michele on her commitment to the City of Kenner Council and her contribution in ensuring that Kenner is a great place to live, work, and play while maintaining a spirit of teamwork with the council and administration. Now, therefore, I, Michael S. Yenni, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of Kenner, with the Kenner Council, do hereby recognize 18 years of service, 1996 to 2014, to at-large Division A, Michele Branigan. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for being here. No matter who you're here to honor, it's just a pleasure to have served all of you. I'm going to recognize at this moment he is my favorite son, only because not because he's here, but because he's the one who's given me the grandchildren so far. My son, BJ. And I'll have to stop saying that in a couple months because my other son is expecting in November, but he gets the joke. And then I also want to recognize my boyfriend, Aaron, who was thrown into this crazy world about 6 years ago. And then, of course, my other 2 children, George, who lives in they both live in Baton Rouge, George and Kelly. But I just want to say that leading up to this, I was really getting out of office after I did the district council seat. When I ran for office, I was just this, I wouldn't say angry, because I don't think I get angry that often, but I was just this mom who wanted to get things done, and I just thought, okay, I did my part, and that's it. And so I didn't run for the at-large seat. It was a special election, and I wasn't happy with what was still happening, and I thought, oh, you're kidding me. I said, well, I'll run for at-large. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I really didn't care. I felt like whatever was to be, and then I won. And so I was able to represent the entire city and continue to make a difference in the city. And it wasn't until these past couple weeks, because I've never really looked back at what I did. I always just looked forward to what was the next thing, when we were driving around, and Aaron asked me, well, what was your greatest accomplishment? Now, as a district council member, you get to do little sexy things like trees and, the fronts of subdivisions and playgrounds and all of those things. So I kept going through the list of things. I was like, when I did the front of the subdivision, that was so cool. And now it must have been when at Musbartolino. Oh, that had to be it. Musbartolino, when we had one field, now we got 6 fields, and, we have all these tournaments and blah, blah. And so I was going through this list, and I've started to get weepy, and it surprised me because I didn't think that this was going to be, it's tears of joy, but I didn't think it was going to move me as much. And yesterday I spoke with Danny Martini, who, as you know, has been a very good friend and supporter of mine, as well as I to him, and I was checking on how he was doing, and I said, oh, Danny, I was just calling to check to see how you were doing, how you feeling, and I want to thank you for everything that you've done. And I started crying, and I thought, so I've been caught off guard by how moved I've been by this experience. But the good news is I didn't run again for a seat that I could have run, because I really feel like we're being left in great hands. And while there's people I've served with that I know are going to continue to do a job, and other people who have been elected, I will tell you that man in the back is exactly what I've been praying for. Young man, Dominic Impastato, born in Kenner, raised in Kenner, at the playgrounds, coached in Kenner, went off, got educated, came back to Kenner, raised his family here, and I'm like, yes, the eureka moment. This is what I've been praying for. So I feel very confident knowing that Dominic and people like him are going to be serving the city with young leadership in the mayor and all of the things. When you stop dreaming as big as everybody else and you just get excited about what everybody else is dreaming about, it's time to step aside and let everybody else dream for you. So I couldn't be happier. This has been one of the greatest experiences, and I will apologize to my family, because my daughter-in-law works out on Thursday nights, and the first and third Thursday I'm not able to babysit. Well, I am now. So thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me to serve you.
We're going to move to 10 years of service to the City Council.
Thank you. It is my honor to read this proclamation. Whereas the Kenner City Council serves as the city's legislative body, represented by 2 at-large councilmen and 5 district council members. 10 years ago, Kent Denapolis' love of politics prompted him to run for councilman of District 5. And with a successful win, Kent has served with pride for 10 years and will do so until June 30th, 2014. Whereas through his 2 decades of public service, Kent has assisted in implementing various projects. He has had a part in the stabilization of Canal Number 17. He was involved in the rebuilding of Wentwood Playground and its concession stand, in grants obtained from DOTD for drainage projects, Loyola I-10 improvements, and the Lightscape new welcome sign on Loyola Drive, to name a few. One important accomplishment includes his service during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, when he ran Kenner Cantina, along with the help of many others, delivered hot meals to those in need, and reached out to constituents while rescuing and feeding animals left behind, for which his heroic actions were recognized by the ASPCA. Whereas during his tenure, Kent has managed to balance life with his wife, Tasha, and as a proud father of 2 daughters, Christina and Kimberly, a son, Andreas, and 2 adorable granddaughters, Sophia and Jabril, along with Portia and Lucky, the Hurricane Katrina rescue dogs. Ever active, Kent is a member of the St. Elizabeth Men's Club, Kenner Community Dream Builders, Generous Heart Foundation, and found time to coach at Wood Lake Playground when he wasn't designing and implementing furniture, designs and layouts for cars dealerships in 4 states as regional director for the Wells Group. Whereas the city of Kenner hereby commends Kent on his past accomplishments with the city and wishes him enjoyment in his future leisure time when he can fully participate in clubs like the Crescent City Cruisers, Mopar, Suburban, Divine Mercy Men's Club, and the Knights of Columbus, and still find some lazy time to relax while reeling in the big ones, avid fishermen. Now, therefore, Michael J. Yenni, by the authority vested in him as mayor of Kenner with the Kenner City Council, does recognize 10 years of service, 2004 to 2014, District 5, Kent H. Denapolis.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow. Thank you, Jeannie, and it's been great serving with you on the council and also with the council that's here tonight. It's been 10 years. It's been a great travel. It's been a great journey, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I enjoy the fact that I was able to serve my district at the time when it most needed during post-Katrina. And, you know, life's an education, and life's a walkthrough when you're seeing people, meeting people, and developing, you know, your politics. You know, Kenner is a great place to live and raise a family, and I can tell you that every effort that I did in those 10 years was designed to making Kenner a better place to live. I do want to recognize my wife Tasha here tonight and my son Andreas that's here tonight. My 2 daughters, one's up in Fort Worth, you know, fledging to be a good attorney, and of course my other daughter's a nurse over at one of the hospitals, St. Charles General. And I can tell you that journey wouldn't have happened as easy and as special to me without my adorable assistant, Donna Shedler. Donna, please stand. Donna. Let me tell you what a wealth of information that she has in administrating the council duties on the floor. She's made my job as your councilman much, much easier, and I can tell you her heart, mind, and soul is poured into that job, and people on the floor see that. And I thank you, Donna. You made this 10 years very special to me. Thank you very much. And God bless you all, and thank you. Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, Councilman Joe Stagni. Michele?
It is an honor. Whereas, whether it's on the basketball court or as a chiropractor or as a civic leader, Joseph A. Joe Stagni has had the passion to excel. As an avid ball player, Joe was selected for Biddy basketball at 12, then started at Curtis and was named All-District, All-State, District MVP, winning 3 district championships. As a chiropractor, Joe has treated spinal misalignments that occur from lifestyle or injuries since 1988. As a civic leader, Joe has represented District 2 on the council with the power to enact ordinances and resolutions for the last 8 years. Whereas, as a child of Leroy and Brenda Stagni, Joe grew up in Kenner with his brother Greg, attended John Curtis Christian School, then Nichols State, and finished at Texas Chiropractic College, graduating with honors. Meanwhile, he married the beautiful Denise Contevespri, and they are raising 2 sons, Joseph Jr. and Andrew. As an active citizen, Joe fought for term limits, gathered signatures for politics-free civil service system, lobbied for Kenner citizen input on major airport projects, and worked with seniors at Walden, Westminster Tower, and the Kenner Adult Daycare Center. As co-chair of the Merit Civil Service System Petition Drive, he was the first Kenner resident to be awarded the Monty M. Lehman Award. Whereas in 2006, Joe ran and won the District 2 council seat with 80% of the vote, then was reelected in 2010 with 86% of the vote, and is serving his final term until June 30th, 2014. As councilman, Joe secured millions of dollars in infrastructure improvements, such as improving drainage in Westgate, new sidewalks on West Esplanade and West Metairie, sewerage repairs, and aided in the addition of new businesses such as IHOP, Cane's, Big Easy Self-Storage, Ray Brandt Toyota, and CVS. He passed legislation assessing street damage, requiring public disclosure and transparency in contracts and agreements, dedicating revenues from park rentals to the playgrounds. He has been honored as Legislator of the Year by the Alliance of Good Government, nationally by the Leadership Training Institute, and locally by Walden Nursing Home and Westminster Tower. Whereas the City of Kenner hereby commends Joe on his achievements as council member for District 2 with congratulations on his 2 terms serving the citizens of Kenner. On behalf of Michael S. Yenni, with the authority vested in him as mayor, we recognize 8 years of service, 2006 to 2014, District 2, Joseph A. Joe Stagni.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilwoman Branigan and Mayor Yenni. You know, you don't get to do 8 years of service on the council or 10 years of civic activism without strong support from your family. And I want to thank my mom, my dad, my brother Greg, my Uncle Mac, my cousins, Mr. Joe, Mr. Sylvia, and Leon, and Uncle Ray. But my nuclear family, I think the best decision I ever made in my life was to marry a beautiful girl from South Kenner, Denise Conavespri. Without her love and support, I can't do any of the things that I've been able to do. I appreciate you. Thank you for understanding and staying with me through all the thick and thin times. Nisi and I's inspirations in life are our boys, Joseph and Andrew, and Joseph is here today. Andrew, I don't know if he got back from basketball practice or not, but they put up my first campaign sign in end of 2005. And anytime I needed somebody to call the bingos at Westminster, Joseph and Andrew were there. And I know when I look in their eyes and when you look at the eyes of the children all over Kenner, you realize that's what we're supposed to do here, is to make a better city for them and a better future for our citizens. I want to thank the colleagues that I've had on the council, at least 12 different council members since I've been here. Mayors Capitano, Munez, Yenni, police chiefs Conjemi and Caraway. You know, we all come with different personalities and perspectives, but I've always tried to approach things on issues rather than individuals. And we all served in Kenner through a certain time in Kenner's history, and I am thankful that I served with all of you. While I was in the neighborhoods in District 2, our office was wool-manned by one of the hardest working Kenner employees that I've ever seen. Joanne Seguo, on behalf of the citizens of District 2 and myself, I thank you for your service to this city. I appreciate it. Most importantly, to the citizens of District 2, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to serve this city. I will not forget it. We did a lot of good things. I know there was millions of dollars in infrastructure, numerous pieces of legislation. But what I'll remember most is what we tried to do in our office when somebody called us. We moved heaven and earth. It might have been a simple garbage can replacement, burnt out street light, put striping around the school for the safety of our kids. Even when I first got elected, I remember an elderly lady, Miss Arcola on Taylor Street, asking me, Mayor, I might not get the microphone again, so I'm going to take a few minutes if you don't mind. I was so gung-ho, like all the councilmen that are coming in now. She called, and it was just after Katrina, and she said, I need my trash picked up. I just got all of these appliances. And I kept trying to call a garbage contractor. I couldn't get them. I know my assistant at the time tried to call. She couldn't get them. So I borrowed somebody's pickup truck. I went and took the trash and disposed of it. And I hope that I've left District 2 with the same kind of enthusiasm that I did when I started. And my grandmother, may she rest in peace, did a little campaign piece for me when I first got elected. The last 2 lines in the piece was, I'm not asking you to vote for Joe Stagni because he's part of my family. I'm asking you because he'll make you part of his. And I hope I've done that to District 2. And I thank all of you for being here today. I love you, darling.